What up, everyone? It's your boy Patty, aka Tox, aka Toxin, and welcome to the newest edition, or entry, or episode, depending on what you prefer, of ToxTales. And today is going to be a ridiculous one, as they always are. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of the time I ate way too many mushrooms when I was in college. And I'm not going to tell you what the amount is exactly right off the bat, because that would give it away. And what fun is that? That's no fun. That's what it is. No fun at all. We like surprises here. That's what we're into. We want to be completely unaware of what's in store for us at all times, because that's how we roll here in the ToxTales world. So, I got to start this out, of course, as I always do when I tell these drug stories. Ugh, these grimy drug stories. What a disgusting piece of shit he is. Ugh. That's what I think a lot of people are thinking when they hear this. Like, I like his stories, but he's kind of a fucking piece of shit, dude. Jesus Christ, disgusting. Anyways, my disclaimer is this. This is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment or educational, depending on how you look at it. I do not endorse the use of any substance, alcohol, drugs of any kind, and anything in between, because that's just not how we roll here. I know I've made it abundantly clear that it is how I used to roll through the various stories I've told so far on this channel, but people can change, and we're not going to take that away from anyone. We like human growth here, progression at ToxTales. And the people who stay stagnant and never change, well, they typically suck and are unable to see the error in their ways. So anyways, enough ranting. Let's get to the juicy, nitty-gritty story about the drugs. That's what you want. So this story takes place either in late 2010 or early 2011. I'm not totally positive of exactly which year it would be, but I do know it was my first 2 years at college, because I was at my first college I went to before I transferred to the state school I ended up going to after this college, because this college was a community college. I went to this college first because I had bad grades in high school. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care at all, and I didn't apply myself. And it was hard to apply myself because I didn't like anything I was learning, really. There's some things here and there. I like some social studies, government class. I was all right at English, but math and science, get out of here. So because of my indifference towards my education during my grade school days, I ended up having to go to a community college first to get my grades to a point where I could transfer to the state school I originally planned to go to when I was still in high school. So I wouldn't change any of this, though, because I met so many amazing people at the community college I went to for the first 2 years of college that none of the stuff that I did later on probably would have happened. But that's, speculation. Who knows how that all works? Multiple timelines. We're not getting all into that shit. But it is fun to explore. Either way, I had built up a pretty good group of friends by my second year of school at this community college. I had a girlfriend at that time, too, at that point. And one night, we were all feeling a little saucy. We were feeling a little bit spicy. And at this specific period of time, whenever my group of friends and I wanted to do something spicy, per se, we really liked to indulge in some acid. And I know I had a story a couple weeks ago already about this, but it changes as it goes. It progresses, as you know. Wow, that was a bar. Amazing. I don't even know what I just did there. I don't even know how I do it. Anyways, so my friend Devin, which I know I also had a story with Devin in it last week, but that was a different Devin. This is the other Devin, who was one of my best friends while I was going to community college. And Devin was that motherfucker. If we wanted to get something, really anything, the only chance we really had of finding said thing whatever it may be at that time, was Devin. And earlier in the day, he had received a nice tip from somebody about some really good clean acid around town at that moment in time. So he told us about it. We made plans. My girlfriend at the time, Carrie, that's what we're going to call her, and our other friend, Iliza, they both were down. So that was going to be the group for the night. That's what was decided. And Iliza, she had a apartment off campus because I lived in the dorms at the time. And Devin, he lived way off campus in a different town. And Carrie, she lived in the dorms with me. So Iliza had this off-campus apartment, and it was really just directly across from the campus of the community college I was going to. So anytime that Iliza actually wanted to hang out during the weekends, her place was actually ideal for home base because it was right there, easy access to the dorms in case me and Carrie wanted to go home after we were done partying it up and sleep in our own beds. We could stay there if we wanted to. She was cool with that. So then Devin also had a place to stay if he didn't want to drive all the way home, so on and so forth. So that's what we decided was going to be the plan for the night. But along with that, Devin and Carrie and Iliza actually were in the same class at the time. It was a literature writing class of some sort. And for that class, they had a weekend assignment that specific weekend to go see a play on campus that was being put on by students. So the plan was for us to go get this acid and then take it and go to this play because that just sounded ridiculous and fun, and like maybe it could be a really good and goofy time. So we all get done with our classes that day. Carrie and I head over to Iliza's to meet up with her and Devin. We get there. Devin's like, all right, so we got to go get this shit. It's cross town. It's not too far. And I'm like, all right, so I'll go with you, because that was usually the deal. When it came to any drug stuff, it was me and him. We handled it. We left the girls back at the apartment to do whatever girly stuff they needed to do to get ready, or just chill and smoke some pot, whatever. So me and Devin hop into his minivan, his silver Chrysler minivan that he had at the time, and we ride over across town to this dude's house that I don't even know, but Devin knows. It's one of his plugs or connects or whatever you want to call it, to get this, supposedly really good acid. So we get there. He goes in. I wait in the van because, like I said, didn't know the guy. Let him do the business there. I just came as support, I guess, moral support. And then he comes back out, and he opens up this tinfoil because that's how, usually it was transported and stored, was in tinfoil. But when he opens it up, I noticed that it's not, blotter paper. It's not paper hits of acid. It's just a bunch of Sour Patch Kids. And at this time, I was not new to this stuff by any means, but I also wasn't like a seasoned veteran, for lack of a better term. And I just kind of assumed, though, that it was probably liquid acid, liquid LSD, dropped on top of these Sour Patch Kids. And Devin confirmed my hypothesis by saying, hey, yeah, this is what they put it on, just to make it, taste okay. Not that clean acid should have any taste, really. Maybe a little bit of a metallic taste or something like that, but it shouldn't have anything, robust going on, or else it's probably not clean acid. But that's besides the point, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine. No big deal. I'm sure it's good. We'll eat it and hopefully have a good time. So we get back to Iliza's apartment, bring the goods inside, and we all proceed to take, I think, 2 apiece. I'm not sure if Devin maybe took more because he always kind of was the one to push the envelope on these types of occasions. And now that we have taken our doses, the name of the game is just wait. For anybody who is not experienced in this type of thing, acid takes about an hour to start working, typically. So we just hang out in Iliza's apartment, watching stupid shit on TV, smoking some weed. So this is what ends up happening. In about an hour or so, Iliza and Carrie are really starting to feel the acid. They're starting to feel really good. They're giggling a lot, laughing a lot. Devin is starting to feel it too. Not as much, but he's definitely feeling it. And I'm feeling nothing. It's not working on me at all. And I don't know why. And it's frustrating if you've ever been in this position because they're all starting to laugh a lot and have a really good time. And I'm just chilling. And I'm like, fucking, okay. So I start to speculate, like maybe the Sour Patch Kids I got were dipped in less, so they're weaker, or maybe something happened with those ones. I don't know. You start to come up with all sorts of reasons of why it's not working on you and it's working on everybody else, which is really a fruitless endeavor anyways, because if it's not working, that's just kind of the deal. Not much you can do about it. Even if you take more, you still run the risk of it not really being that intense. So I'm in a pretty weird kind of negative mood, trying not to ruin everybody's time though. And at this point, my girl Carrie, she's spun the fuck out. She's watching the Flintstones and listening to the band Scars on Broadway. I don't know if you guys know that band. It's the guitarist from System of a Down's side project, but they have the song called Chemicals that's just got a ridiculous chorus to it. It's very like trippy and weird and fucked up, and the lyrics are very profane and just ridiculous. And she's watching the Flintstones and she's like, they're singing the song that we're listening to. And I'm like, are they? She's like, watch, look at, they're mouthing the words. It's crazy. And even me in my not like fucked up, kind of still sober state of mind can kind of see what she's saying. Actually, it is kind of lining up, and I can see why if you were tripping, it would seem ridiculous. So they're having a great time. Devin's having a pretty good time too, even though he's not feeling it as much. So it comes time for them to go to this play. And I say them because I decided to opt out on going with them to the play because, you know, it was for a class that they were in. It wasn't a class project that had anything to do with me that I had to do. And on top of that, I wasn't feeling the shit that they were feeling. I wasn't on the same level as them. And that was kind of the whole point in the first place, was to go to this play, spun the fuck out on this acid, and laugh our asses off. And I wanted them to go have fun. I didn't want to ruin their time. I said, I'll just stay here at Eliza's apartment till you guys get back. Probably just smoke some weed, chill. Hopefully something will happen. The shit'll kick in for me or whatever. And they're like, okay. They didn't want me to stay, but they're like, you know, we get it. That's fine. It probably won't be that long anyways. So they go off. I chill for a while. I smoke some weed. Like I said, just chilling. Nothing ends up happening. I don't start to feel it more or anything like that. And while they're gone, because I'm not feeling anything, I start to scheme in my head. Because I'm the type of person where I'm not going to just sit there and mope. I want to have fun too. So I start to think of what I can do about it. I'm a resourceful person. So I go into the freezer in Eliza's apartment because I remember Devin earlier had said, hey man, I got some vodka if you want some of that later, possibly. And I was like, you know, that could turn things around a little bit for me. So I find this plastic, like, handle of McCormick vodka. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but it's bad. It's really, really shitty vodka. Low bottom shelf. Terrible. I mean, it's in a plastic bottle. I think that says everything. So I take that thing out, and at this point, I'm so frustrated with the situation that I just open that shit up and I start chugging it. I was completely bound and determined to not let this acid situation ruin the night for me and for anybody else, because, I mean, it wasn't going to ruin their night. They were having a great time, but I didn't want to be like a downer. I want to be a party pooper. So I start chugging this fucking bottle of McCormick, and by the time they get back from this play, which is like an hour and a half later, I'm fucking hammered. They come in and they can tell immediately, because I'm like, what's up, guys? How was the play? You guys fucking have fun? Was it a good time? It was a really good time, wasn't it? And they start just laughing their asses off at me, poking fun at me and shit. They're just like, oh, did you get into the vodka there, buddy? And I'm like, yeah, Devin said I could have some when you guys were gone. And they're like, whatever, dude. As long as you're having fun, we're all about it. So at this point, we're all having a really good time. The night isn't a complete wash like I thought it would be for me. But at the same time, even though I'm pretty hammered at that point, I'm like, you know, it's not what I was looking for. It's not enough, really. So I go to Devin and I'm like, hey, man, firstly, I need to get some weed. Because at that time, back in those days, I was a chronic stoner. I was habitually smoking weed all day, every day. So I always needed to have some. And I was getting dangerously low at that point. And coincidentally, at that time, Devin had also been selling mushrooms. And my weed guy was also his mushroom guy. So he goes, "Oh, dude, you know, we could go see," and we'll just call our plug Connor for the sake of the story. So he's like, "We could go see Connor, and I could get more mushrooms because I ran out, and people have been really wanting them lately. So that would be perfect. You could get the weed, I'll get my shrooms, we'll be good to go." And I was like, "Can you drive? Are you tripping too hard?" And he's like, "No, they're tripping really hard. I'm tripping all right, but I think I'm good." And now, real quick, second disclaimer of the story: do not ever, ever, under any circumstances, drive while you're under the influence of anything, especially acid. That's ridiculous. It's stupid, but we were very dumb back then. So, anyways, we're like, yeah, let's do this shit, because I was all about it, especially that little additional promise of potential mushrooms. That sounded great to me right now because I really wanted to trip. So we head over across town again, not to the same place as before where we got the acid, now to this place, to our plug for the weed and the mushrooms, Connor, a guy that I also knew. So we get there, we go up to his apartment, and he has really good weed, which is a huge plus. He's showing it to me. It smells amazing, beautiful looking. I'm like, yes, let's smoke right now. We start smoking. And then he looks at Devin and he goes, "Hey, man, you've been doing so great with this mushroom thing, getting rid of these for me. I got a little surprise for you." And he hands him the ounce that Devin came to get. And then he hands him another ounce. And Devin's like, "What? Do I owe you for two now?" And he goes, "Nope, that one's just for you. On the house, buddy." And his eyes got so wide, and so did mine. We looked at each other like, whoa, what the fuck? Because at that time, that was like a lot of mushrooms to us, which objectively, it is a lot of mushrooms, but over time I ended up seeing a lot larger amounts than that here and there in different situations. But we were just, young, excited, fucked up, and ready to get more fucked up. So we grabbed the mushrooms, we grabbed the weed, we say bye to Connor. We go downstairs to the parking lot of the apartment building. We get in Devin's van because we want to get back to Iliza's, where Iliza and Carrie are waiting for us to finish out the night. We're sitting there for a second before we decide to actually leave the parking lot, and Devin just looks at me holding the mushrooms, and I go, "Hey, man, did you just get a free ounce from Connor?" And he was like, "Yeah, man." He said it was like a reward for how well I've been doing getting rid of them for him. And I was like, "I heard that. So what are you going to do with them?" And he's like, "You want to eat some?" And I was like, I was hoping you'd say that because, I really did want a trip tonight and this acid just did not work. And he's like, "All right, man, you want to grab my scale from underneath your seat?" And I was like, "Fuck the scale." And he goes, "Hell yeah." And he just opens that bag up and we just start pounding them like a lot. Like we were going to town on them. I don't know what got into us because I've never done anything like that before then and since then, honestly. We just kept going and eating them until eventually we both look at each other, both still with mushrooms in our mouth, and go, "We should probably stop, right?" "Yeah, we should probably stop." And he's like, "Okay." So we get done doing that just insane demonstration of excess for no fucking reason, except for me, it was just I needed to trip. I wanted to trip so bad that night, and I was like really willing to do anything at that point to get that party going. And let me tell you, that worked. That shit right there, it worked perfectly fine. It worked almost too well because I ate so many freaking mushrooms. We got back to Eliza's apartment, and I busted into that place. I kicked that door in. Not like broke it, but I kicked it open. And I was like, "What's up, everybody? Let's go!" And they're like, "Whoa!" The girls are like, "Oh my God, what's going on with you?" And I was like, "I just ate some mushies." And they're like, "Yeah!" Because we're all now tripping together. And I'm on their level, finally. It was a great feeling. I was fucking feeling so good. And so was Devin. He was out of his fucking mind. And we decided to finally, after we hung out for a little while and just, cackled our asses off and just did dumb, goofy shit, smoked a bunch of weed, we decided to finally take that scale out and just see what kind of damage we did. Because we just had no idea. And between the two of us, we had eaten over a half of that ounce that he got for free. So, in total, we each ate over a quarter of mushrooms. And it showed. Let me tell you, it showed. I had crazy visuals finally. I was getting everything I really wanted. Not that I really wanted a mushroom trip. I was looking more for an acid trip. And then at that time, I really liked acid more. which would eventually change, but it was just like very satisfying. It scratched that itch finally, and it wasn't bad at all either. I didn't have like a bad trip. I didn't freak out even though I ate so much. I had more of a thick skin when it came to tripping back then, though. I didn't have as many negative experiences under my belt, so for some reason that made it so it was like less possible in my mind for that to happen, and it always made it so the experiences ended up being overall more positive. But that's basically it. We had a great night after that. We just chilled, laughed our asses off, enjoyed each other's company, and probably stayed up way too late, or probably all the way till the next morning at least. Who knows? I can't remember. I would assume that we probably stayed up at least till about 5 a.m. If not, didn't go to bed at all till the next day. And it was just a fantastic time. I really wouldn't have it go any other way. I wouldn't change a thing about it. But thank you guys for listening to another crazy, messed up drug story of ToxTales. Just make sure you like the video. Comment down below if you have any crazy drug stories. It's fine if you don't. You don't need to. But if you do, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Let me know about your crazy drug stories. And subscribe if you're new. And that's it. Peace out, yo.